It is 8 o'clock on a Friday night, April 24th, 2026. I'm Alex Rivera, and this is the Rivera Report. We're only going to cover a few things tonight. I took some time off because I was a little burnt out. This is a lot of hard work for me. I want to talk about a few things. The Southern Poverty Law Center. The Southern Poverty Law Center. The Strait of Hormuz, and the new third or fourth ceasefire. Keeps putting it off. Okay, so let's talk about the ceasefire, the new ceasefire. My opinion. Let me give you an example. There are children complaining to police and authorities that their parents are doing everything bad under the sun. They're beating them, abusing them in every conceivable way. They're not feeding them. The sanitary conditions are horrendous. And the children go to the judge and says, "Judge, you got to save us from these abusive parents." And the judge goes, "I'm with you. I'm ready to write down an order to take you away from your parents and give you new parents that will love you and care for you and treat you good, educate you, make sure you're clean, make sure you're fed, and make sure you grow up with good morals." And then the judge turns around and talks to the parents. He talks to the parents, and as it so happens, the judge doesn't take them away from their abusive parents. He tries to give them rules and regulations on how they should treat the rest of the neighborhood and how to treat their kids. We all know that the parents are not listening to the judge. And we know as soon as those kids are returned to their parents, those parents are going to start beating their kids again, possibly killing them. Don't you think it would make better sense to remove those parents from those children and give them brand new foster parents? Wouldn't it make more sense instead of making peace with an abusive couple? And the whole time the parents are lying to the judge. So, okay, stop arresting us every night. We'll do what you say. We'll sign whatever. And it's just lip service. It's just lip service. At some point, one of two things is going to happen. Those kids are going to get taken away from their original parents and put in a foster home and given foster parents, someone that will really love them. Or those kids are going to get killed. If they don't get killed, they'll grow up to be criminals. But most likely they'll get killed. This is what's happening in Iran. Whatever happened to "we are with you"? Donald Trump said that. Whatever happened to "we are locked and loaded"? Trump said that. The mullahs are laughing at Trump because they know whatever happens, they will still be in power. Now we want a peace treaty with the abusers. And they have almost 50-year track record that they abuse their own people. There was these bunch of women that were about to be killed because they were in a protest. Oh, and by the way, before they're killed, they get raped to make sure they don't go to heaven, so they'll go to hell like the whores that they are. A really twisted morale is here. Why should we care about the people in Iran? Because number one, it is a humanitarian crisis. It's a humanitarian crisis that you could tell a lot from a country by how they treat their people. And how they treat their people is how they're going to treat the rest of the world. Go all the way, I say. completely changed the government. What did we do? Must I keep repeating Germany in 1942? What did we do? We removed the Nazis from power and gave the people we helped rebuild Germany, but then we split it in half, East and West Germany. Because it was so bad, we actually broke a country. And it came back in the, was it 80s, late 80s with Reagan? But we should not make peace with the mullahs. Oh, and by the way, those women that were going to be killed, recently it was put out that Trump said, please don't kill them. And the the mullahs said, okay, we won't kill them, we won't execute them. But they probably will rape them. Wow, what a consolation prize, right? As I was saying, this government is no better than the Nazis that tried to exterminate the Jews in the 1930s and 40s. There should be no peace, and I'm serious. This is like the Ku Klux Klan. I'll get to that later. You can't. These are. They need Jesus in the worst possible way. They're living like they were living 1,500 years ago with the original Muhammad prophet, right? Marrying little girls and being pedophiles. So they don't rate to continue to exist. They don't. I'm kind of torn. But there are some people that are just too far gone, and these people are professional liars. They're like the actors in Hollywood, professional liars. So I don't know if Trump's got something up his sleeve. I don't know what's going on. But right now, maybe Trump is playing stupid. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know the intelligence that he knows. So it's going back and forth. They're seizing ships. We're seizing ships. The one fact remains, in my opinion, the mullahs should not stay with that country. They should be arrested and taken out of power. This is what I believe. This is my own humble opinion. They're the abusive parent that keeps beating on their kids. And the judge is like, you better stop doing that. Okay, I'm going to have to write something down on paper. No, you take those kids away. You put those parents in jail. Why is this so hard? Because with all the technology we have, do you know why the people of Iran expect us to save them? Because the whole world sat back and watched us go in and take Maduro. Take Maduro without a word, with the discombobulator or whatever. And now he's across the river from me in a jail. And also, why must we, if Trump could just keep his mouth shut, don't tell them what you're gonna hit. People fight wars nowadays in the stupidest ways. Do you think the Trojans, when they went into the Trojan horse, they said, okay, we're going to hide in here until you find us, then we'll attack you? No. There are certain things you don't say to the enemy. Like, we're going to bomb your bridges and power plants. You don't say that. You just do it. Like we did. How would we be if we told, I don't know. Maybe we did warm Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I'm not sure. But the thing is, the element of surprise is crucial in a war. And now, you know what they're going to do? You know what the mullahs are going to do? They're going to recruit people, if they haven't already, to go to the power plants and to go to the bridges and to chain themselves to the power plants and to the power plants and the bridges, so that we'll look like monsters when we bomb those two places. Just do it. Just do it. Stop playing tootsie footsie wootsy with them. I love Donald Trump, but sometimes he's got to shut up. You got to just have a nice tall glass of shut up. Shut up juice. Drink it down. Right? Anyway. We'll see what happens when the firing resumes and the bombings continue. Anyway, and they can resume at any time. So there's the I'm gonna get you. There's the element of surprise. So keep them on their toes. Okay, the Southern Poverty Law Center. Wow. That's all I can say, man. The Southern Poverty Law Center was indicted by a grand jury, and they indicted them on 6 counts of wire fraud, 4 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. They gave $73,000 to former KKK members, $300,000 to the Aryan Nation, $270,000 to the leader of Unite the Right. Remember Charlottesville? I think they did the tiki torches too. Remember the tiki torches? Yeah, they were funded by the S.P.L.C. They were funded by them. Okay, this group, if you don't already know, this group is fighting against all these groups. But then behind the curtain, they're giving them money to continue their antics, their racist antics. So what do you call someone that says they're fighting this evil, this great racist evil, and then filling up the tank with gasoline, filling up their tank with gasoline so they can keep on going instead of destroying them? What do you call a person like that? Please leave a comment below. I honestly don't have a name for them. I would say hypocrite. I would say double dipper. I would say burning the candle from both ends. I would say an S starter. An SH starter. Someone that wants to keep the hatred going. Remember the movie, one of the sequels in Star Trek, where the Klingon Empire was dying and their world was dying. They needed to relocate to another habitable planet. Anyway, in the end, it was found out that parties from both sides, the Klingons and the Federation, assassinated the president or something, or the head of the Klingons or something, and they did it not for peace, not because they were against each other. They were working together to keep the war going, to keep the strife going. What do you call people like that? Somebody really honestly help me. What do you call people like that? That work, and you know, there are people like that in real life, in everyone's life. In some aspect of everyone's life, there's a person that goes around and goes, yeah, you know, that guy, he said that, you know, you got a big nose, blah, 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 blah. And then he goes back to the other guy, which he lied about, and he said, yeah, I hate that guy. He's got a big nose. And they keep starting, and they want heads to butt. Sorry. Oops. Yeah, that's evil. That's evil. I've recently recognized people like that in my life, and I got them out of my life. They want to, the Southern Poverty Law Center is using my money and your money to keep the strife going, to keep the KKK alive, to keep the Aryan Nation alive, the Nazis. There is a Nazi party in the United States, you know that, right? To keep the Nazis alive, to keep the Aryan race alive, to keep the Aryan Brotherhood alive. Maybe it's to keep themselves in business, because if those entities, those groups were destroyed, there would be no more need for the S.P.L.C. Maybe that's the logic behind that. But anyway, whatever they're doing, they got caught doing it. And all this talk about, oh, America's the most racist country in the world, then why do people keep trying to come here? If this is the most racist country in the world, why are people still trying to get over here and live here? Explain that to me. Explain to me the fact is that those people, the same people that want no borders, are the same people that say we live on stolen land. Open borders, stolen land. You know those two are opposites, right? So if there are no borders, if borders aren't a thing, right? I gotta get a new tripod, people. Please help me out and buy me a cup of coffee. I'll leave the link in the description below so I can get a new tripod. Anyway, if we're on stolen land and they don't want borders, then this is not stolen land if there are no borders. You got to pick one. You got to pick one, liberal. Either we're on stolen land or there's no such thing as borders, which means we're not on stolen land. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, they don't make any sense. They don't make any sense. So, yeah, so these people got caught with their hand in both cookie jars. And they're funding the very enemy they profess to hate. That's almost like the Joker gets a grant from Batman. And Batman is funding the Joker's criminal enterprise. Right? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, if you like my work, please leave a like, please share it, and please subscribe. Don't forget to catch me on YouTube at Holding the Line Ministries or at The Rivera Report on YouTube. Don't forget to catch me, please buy me a cup of coffee. I need the money to do my studio. And also, don't forget to check out my book on buybooksontheweb.com. Buybooksontheweb.com, a true story of survival and a matter of life and death. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a good weekend, and God bless you. This is Alex Rivera, signing off.